Hey guys, Craig here, Fergie JKU, and today I have episode 2 of Fergie Time, which is a little YouTube series I am doing with just cool people doing cool things in the off-roading, Jeep world, nature world, all things kind of involved with our scene here. And today I am chatting with Adam from Ride Dog. He's one of the main dudes over there, and he's going to drop some knowledge on us and kind of tell us, how the company got started, all that great stuff. And then we'll have some fun at the end. So give it a listen, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, Craig here, Fergie Time, my little YouTube series. Today we're going to be talking with Adam from Ride Dog. And, I got to meet Adam and the company just through Instagram. And I've had the product now for, maybe a month or so. And luckily my Jeep hasn't been stolen in that time. But if it was, I would have been able to track it down really well. Yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to bring in Adam, chat a little bit about Ride Dog, as well as just some of the stuff that they're doing for the trail preservation, save the trails type stuff. So first off, let's just get right to it and just kind of explore. Just tell me a little bit about the development process, technology behind Ride Dog, who you guys are, why you got started, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's been a project we've been working on for about 18 months now. We just launched the company officially a couple months ago.
Oh, wow.
Really just started noticing, about 2 years ago, how many of these side-by-sides and dirt bikes and Jeeps and all this, they just get picked off left and right. It's crazy. According to the FBI, they say that there's about 20,000 pieces of power sports equipment stolen every year, which equates to one about every 30 minutes. I got talking to my business partners and some friends and some family about, what can be done, and started looking at all the other GPS trackers out there, and there wasn't really a good, robust platform that did everything that it should to keep these Jeeps safe. There's lots of GPS trackers out there that, it'll send you a notification. You'll get a text message if your Jeep moves or if your side-by-side leaves the geofence. And I don't know about you, but I miss text messages at least 3 or 4 times a day. Some of them will send you an email. I check my email once a day if I'm lucky. So the options that were out there were just not adequate for, intervening and preventing the theft from happening. So we started looking at, what would that look like? What would we need to do to make that better? I have zero tech background. This was an undertaking that was a very large learning curve for me. But just started working with the team, got to talking to an app developer, talking to different manufacturers to figure out how can we make the alert system side of things better. These machines are getting picked off at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. You think you've got a GPS tracker on it, you think you're safe, you think you're protected, but you don't know that it's gone until 8 o'clock the next morning when you go to leave for work. By that point, it's out of state. I'm just south of Salt Lake City here, and within 6 hours on either side of it, you can be over in Colorado, or you can be in Nevada, you can be on your way to California, be down in New Mexico. A lot of these states don't require a title check or a VIN check when these machines are sold back on like the classified market, whatever. So if you pick it off in Utah or you pick it off in Wyoming or wherever it is, by the time it gets out of state, most of these places, they're never going to check it. You're not going to see it again. Even if you have a GPS tracker on it, the fact that you're not getting alerted right when it happens means you're waiting 6, 8, 10 hours to find out that it's stolen. You think you're good. You pull up the app and you're like, oh, it's already on its way to California. Well, that's okay. I'll just call up California Highway Patrol because they're not going to do anything for you. They can't even handle the workload they've got right now. They're not going to go chase down your toy. We needed something that would alert immediately so you had the chance to get out there and intervene. Well, part of that is it had to be more than just a text message. It had to be more than an email. So our system actually sounds an alarm on your phone that says, hey, look, you've got a problem out there. Somebody's messing with your ride right now. You need to get out there and figure out what's going on with it. It gives you that chance to get out there and intervene or get the property authorities involved before they get a chance to take off with it. We've got it set to where if the user allows it, it will actually bypass the do not disturb settings. So if you've got your phone on silent and you're dead asleep, it can still send you that alert to get your attention, wake you up and let you know, hey, something's happening right now that you need to get out there and intervene on.
So does it even hit? I feel like I had an alert and maybe I'm wrong, but I think my daughter went into my Jeep the other day and just opening the door and triggering a light or something. There's some kind of motion or something, right?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, so Our system has multiple layers of defense, is what we call them. The first is just that motion alert, and it works more off of the vibrations than it does actual motion. So if somebody opens a door and they close that door, or they put their feet on the floorboard, the device is going to pick up that little bit of vibration, that little bit of something different.
That's what it hit. And I was like, whoa, this is right off the bat. Because
when somebody steals your Jeep, when they steal your dirt bike, whatever, it just doesn't disappear. They have to start doing something with it, to grab it, to roll it, put it on a trailer, get in it, to drive it off, pop it into neutral. So our system actually picks up on that instant, very first little bit of something different. That's not what we expect to have happening right now. Let's go alert our user to say, hey, get out there and see what's going on with it. Designed so that, wind blowing on it, shaking it side to side is not going to set it off as much as, again, a door closing, feet hitting the floorboard, shifting it into gear, little vibrations is what it's going to pick up on first. If they happen to steal it, they get out of your driveway and it gets taken. As soon as it moves more than 200 feet from where you parked it, then the geofence will kick in. The actual GPS tracking will kick in. They'll say, hey, it's not where you left it. Let's send another alert that says, hey, your machine is gone. Pull up the map, or pull up the app, go into the map, and it'll actually give you as close to live tracking as we can possibly get. It updates every 10 seconds. Says, hey, it's rolling down State Street. It's rolling down the freeway right now. It's going down 200 West, whatever it is. It gives you, almost instant tracking so you can get a hold of the proper authorities and say, hey, man, look, my Jeep's going down the freeway right now and it shouldn't be. Y'all want to go get that back for me? And a live location of where it's at, you're going to get the authorities' attention versus, well, it disappeared overnight sometime and I think it's in California, or I think it's, they're not going to go after it. But if you've got a live tracking on it, and we actually, here in a couple weeks, we're launching another feature in the app that'll be, we're calling it the Share My Location. You have your machine stolen, you can send that location directly to whatever authorities you're working with. So they'll have the exact same map that you have to say, hey, okay, we see it live. We see exactly where it's at, where it's going, and they can get out there and get ahead of it and get it back for you.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting, and I'll throw a link in the description. I had my wife go drive my Jeep around, and I filmed, the app, and it's kind of cool how it'd be like, Fergie's leaving the geofence and all that. So, dude, I think it's awesome. I think it's, I was looking at AirTags, or I don't know, is AirTag the Apple one or Apple Tag or whatever? I think my son is using an Apple Tag, and those seem cool, but nowhere near this level.
Yeah, AirTags are great for what they're designed for. They're designed to find your lost keys, find your purse, stick it on your wallet, things like that. AirTags are not meant to be trackers. They're not GPS. They have zero GPS capabilities. They ping their location based off of Bluetooth connections from other devices nearby. So if there's not another device, or they turn their Bluetooth off, you lose that connection. You have no idea where it's at. Based off of that alone, it's not much protection at all. Those companies have been sued so many times now, they've had to make it so that, like, if there's an AirTag on your vehicle and it's tracking you, you'll get a notification on your phone that says, hey, you're being tracked right now. It actually tells you you're being followed. So that gives the thief a chance to go out and find the AirTag, pop it off, and then you have nothing. They're great for finding keys. I've got key reading. Wow. Just overall, they're great for what they are, but I'm not going to trust my $60,000 rig to an AirTag.
Well, and out here in Colorado, I don't know how accurate this is. You might know better than I would. I heard that Jeep is like the number one stolen vehicle. Do you know, like, is that legit? Or
as far as like SUV type, yeah, I think currently the Hyundai Sonata or something like that dominates for the cars, or maybe it's the Kia. One of them they have to do like a huge recall because they are. It was
the Kias where they just you can open it up with like a scissor or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Jeeps, because you figure how many Jeeps don't have doors, how many don't have tops on them, how many. I mean, they're just easy to hop into. The ignition system's not complicated. The overall platform is very simple to work with. It's pretty easy to pop these and take off with them.
I almost wonder with the Share My Location, I mean, I'll be curious to see when it comes out, but I could see like sharing my location with my wife before I go out wheeling or something, and she'd be able to track it at that point or something like that.
That's the other side of it. So you have the Share My Location for working with the authorities. But also, you're going out to the sand dunes, you're going out wherever you're going, and you want to share that location with your buddies to have them meet up with you. Or you crash, you roll over, you need somebody to help you flip it back over, you get stuck.
Yeah.
Like I like to go out to the sand dunes, take my four-wheelers out there, and my wife, she just logs into my app on the back end, and she'll just follow me along. She'll see right where I'm riding. And if I stop for more than about 30 seconds, she's blowing up my phone. Hey, are you okay? What happened? Did you crash? No, honey, I'm fine. I'm just helping somebody dig their dirt bike out right now. He's stuck. I'm good. But she loves it. She loves to see, where I'm at, because people do stupid stuff out in the dunes. I don't know if you're aware of that, but there's a lot of stupid stuff that happens out there, and you can be the best rider in the world and someone will come over the top of a dune and smash you.
So Ride Dog, I mean, yeah, you're doing awesome security stuff. When you go to your page, you're also really involved into the trails, saving the trails and preserving trails, stuff like that. Tell me a bit about that. Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, so we decided early on as a company that we wanted to stand for more than just making money. Right? Every company likes to make money. That's how we all pay our bills. With the platform we're building, with the connections we're making, we figured we could do something to further a cause. That's also part of the reason why we're working with Trail Hero. I'm a veteran. They do a lot for the veteran organizations, taking out disabled veterans and whatnot on the trails. Working with people like Blue Ribbon, the Blue Ribbon Coalition, a portion of all proceeds from the sale of our devices and our merch goes back to organizations like Blue Ribbon Coalition, America Sand Association, Utah Public Lands Alliance. There's tons of them out there. But these are the people that are out there fighting to keep access open. You and I were just talking before this about going down to Moab. The government just shut down 317 square miles of prime riding in Moab because, there's a huge push behind the scenes, a lot of activists that are not being honest with their intentions. But they were successful in getting a huge chunk of Moab, some of the best trails out there, shut down. And you can't go out and ride them anymore. The same thing's going on. I know there's a huge fight over the sand dunes I think there's a fight going on in Glamis. There's stuff going on in Washington. Blue Ribbon Coalition actually has initiatives and fights going on in 20 different states right now. They're the ones that are out there going to court, writing up the injunctions, going to the meetings, talking to the lawyers. They are a group of lawyers, but they're the ones that are out there on the front lines trying to keep the government away from what we're, the places we ride and the places we enjoy going to. The Biden administration, not to get all political here, but they have a plan that they call 30 by 30, and they want to reclaim 30% of existing open land. This is not the land that they already have control of, which is over 50% of our public lands. They want to take 30% of what remains and close it off by the year 2030. That's their goal. And so that takes away, like here in Utah, we've got the San Rafael swell that's under attack right now.
What's the thought behind that? Like, why? To save like certain animals or something? Like, what's their thinking there?
That's where they're not quite being honest, because a lot of the politicians that are pushing it and a lot of the organizations that are behind it are backed by developers. And so there's a monetary incentive behind what they're trying to do that they're not being honest up front about. And Blue Ribbon Coalition is doing a great job of exposing that and saying, hey, that's not exactly what you're telling us there. Like, for example, here in Utah, we've got the biggest group that we're fighting against is Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance. So Southern Utah is like St. George, Sand Hollow area, all that area. So if it's a Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance, why are they based in Salt Lake City, 300 miles to the north? It doesn't make sense, right? Why is a group up there there's stuff going on behind the scenes that they're just not being upfront about. And that's where organizations like Blue Ribbon really come in handy and really get into the fight, because they expose that on the back end. For, a prime example, and to give another plug to Blue Ribbon Coalition here, they just released a book called The Lost Trails Guide. It's actually had 2 volumes of it now, where they've gone out and put a list of a bunch of trails that are allegedly no longer used. Because these organizations are out there saying, hey, we're going to go close down all these trails that aren't even popular. Nobody even rides them anymore. So let's let nature reclaim them. Let's just close them down because nobody uses them anymore. Well, Blue Ribbon's going out and saying that's not true. So they've put a list of all these trails together, and they've got companies that have sponsored, like we sponsor one of the trails down in Moab. People out there that are documenting their rides on these trails and say, hey, look, we go out to this, the Gemini Bridges. We go out to the Indian Ridge all the time. Here's our proof of it. And that's actually been one of their most effective tools in getting the government to say, okay, somebody's not telling the truth there, because you guys are saying it's never used, but we have all this proof over here, people that are actually using it. Things that Ride Dog is doing is when a user signs up with our app, they can opt in to receive notifications from the Blue Ribbon Coalition about those fights. And as soon as we get the Share My Location feature done, we'll actually be able to have that user opt in to share their location data with the Blue Ribbon. It'll be scrubbed of all personal identifiable information, so it's not going to be names and all that, but we'll be able to prove our GPS tracks how many people are out there on those trails that they claim are no longer used. So it'll just be one more tool that we can use to say, hey, look, somebody's not telling.
So that's the goal, is to show them, hey, these trails are being used. Don't shut them down.
That's one of the big things, yeah. These organizations, they're telling the government, these trails are being overtaken by nature. Nobody uses them. They're not popular. They're just deserted. So let's just close them down. Come out and they talk about, noise ordinances down in Moab. That was one of their big things, is all these Jeeps and side-by-sides are all super loud and people are ripping up and down the streets in them. So they've tried to pass noise ordinances. I'm sorry, but that's what Moab was built on, is the off-road community. If you're expecting a quiet town, I'm sorry, you've picked the wrong place to live. EJS has done a great job of keeping their permits and making sure they can go, but on the side-by-side, side of the community, in June they have the Red Rock Rally coming, which is the first side-by-side event in Moab in 4 years. They haven't been able to get permits for 4 years now, but they finally got it for this June. So we're bringing side-by-sides back to Moab.
I tell you, as a Jeeper though, I could live without side-by-sides on the trails.
There's a lot of that sentiment out there.
Dude, they just come around a corner and oh my gosh, we have an off-road park out here in Colorado, and all the Jeeps are on one side, motorcycles are on the other side, and you got the side-by-sides going both, and they're flying through. And
yeah, side-by-sides have they have two speeds, fast and faster, right?
Yes. So what's your, where are you at? Are you a Jeeper? Are you a side-by-sider, or whatever you call them? Or what's your passion?
I've got a couple of four-wheelers. A couple of just ATVs, basic four-wheelers. That's what I like to go out on. I'll go out in the side-by-sides, go out in the Jeeps. That's all great. Through and through, I prefer to be on my four-wheeler pretty much all day long.
Let me get to the fun part of this, and I'm going to ask you some questions. So rapid fire. You don't have to dwell on it. Don't think about it. The last one I'll let you think about because it may take you a minute. So texting or talking?
Texting.
Favorite day of the week?
Probably Sunday. Got lots of family time. Family dinners, hanging out.
Favorite city in the U.S. besides the one you live in?
I'm going to go with Dallas, Texas.
Last song that you downloaded or song that you had on repeat?
Probably going to go with One More Light by Linkin Park.
Fill in the blank. Taylor Swift is...
obnoxious.
Nice.
I have an 11-year-old daughter who is very big into Taylor Swift right now, and her Eras Tour video that's on Netflix is streaming pretty nonstop at my house right now. So, great artist. She's done a fantastic job of building her brand into what it is, but... invisibility or super strength? Super strength.
Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
Yes.
Dawn or dusk?
Dusk.
Favorite junk food?
Barbecue, Pringles.
Last one is, if your life had a theme song, what would it be?
It would be
a Taylor Swift song.
It'd actually be Standing Outside the Fire by Garth Brooks. The main part to it says that life is not tried, it is merely survived if you're standing outside the fire. And the meaning of that is you've got to be a risk taker. You've got to get out there. You've got to risk being burned in order to get stuff done. I've never been one to sit back and watch the world go by. I'm an entrepreneur, business owner, prior military. I've done a lot in my 37 years of life that just kind of puts me moving forward and never certain what's out there, what's next, but that's what makes it fun.
Awesome, dude. Well, dude, thanks for hanging with me, and I really appreciate getting to know you a little bit better. And I love the product. I think it's awesome. I love how it just will pop up on my phone, and awesome. Well, thanks, dude. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. That was Adam from Ride Dog, and we had a good time today. If there's anybody else you want me to chat with, definitely send me a note, and we'll get them on the show. We'll chat more Jeep stuff, off-roading stuff, subscribe, all that good stuff. Fergie, thejku.com is a great link for my blog posts and just all the things I do with the show, Instagram, all that fun stuff. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Chat soon.